Good morning. Welcome back to Jody Lewis Creations. I hope everybody's doing well today. Thank you for joining me. If you are a returning subscriber, as always, you guys know how much I love you and appreciate you. And if you are new to my channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. Today is Monday, May 6th, and I haven't worked on this for a couple days. I do have the previous video is going to be the dyeing video with the Rit dye where I mess things up. I didn't mess it up, actually. I totally love the result. Love, love, love them. They're just not the right color. So we're going to change gears as far as the pages for this. And then, but we're going to just keep working. So I have some scraps, and honestly, I haven't watched either of the first two videos yet to even remember what I've said. So I'm going to try to get those watched today as I'm working on this, just so that way, if you guys have any questions, then, sorry, my friend, her talk to text is freaking hilarious, and she just sent me a warning. I'm getting ready to be talking to text, so oh, too funny. Anyway, so these were the pages that I had said I was going to use for my signature covers, and I love them so much. And I do think I'm going to make this for the outside of the signature because I think that this ledger paper will lend itself to be decorated super cool. Not that I know how I'm going to decorate these, but you know, anyway, because I have this, which I thought, oh, I could make that little bike a pocket on there and then maybe do on the road again, maybe on the edge or something. That might be kind of cute. So back to being indecisive. Nothing like being indecisive, Jody. But you guys know that about me, right? Why is that not, I'm not over enough. Sometimes, I love this new trimmer, but sometimes it does challenge me. So, well, something's not cut straight, but maybe the lines on the paper aren't straight, but that would be like really weird. I don't know. That's straight. And that is straight-ish, I think. Just a little bit off. Anyway, so is that tall enough? I don't think it's going to be tall enough to do both of them in this paper. It's not. Okay, so that's one signature cover, and then this was going to be the other signature cover. And so I'm just cutting at 6 1/4 because that's going to be the height of our pages, and that's going to be 6 1/4. And so and then we are gonna go like 9 1/2. Okay. And then we'll be able to score that. So again, that's gonna be a really pretty bit on the bottom there. Even if I did that at the top, that would be cool and would allow for a little decoration here. I'm just still thinking my way through this. I wasn't in here. Well, I was in here yesterday, but I wasn't working on this. I had to fix Mark's knee pads for him, which was really kind of interesting because the Velcro gave out, and so he had me sew a button on him for him. Anyway. And what else did I do? I don't know. I took it easy yesterday because I way overdid on Saturday. Okay. Okay, so these will be our signature covers here. So let's get these folded. And this isn't going to have like a ton of pages, I don't think, because really the main thing is that I wanted to use up most of this paper pad. And then let's fold this one. Okay. Oh yeah, because I wasn't sure. You know what? I'm going to do this to the outside. It'll be fine. And then I'll link these edges, which will also be fine. Okay, stop saying okay. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about what I'm doing as I'm doing it, and I don't really have a plan, which you guys, when do I ever? I kind of like that. I wish that on the road again would actually fit, but I'm thinking if we cut the bike out, so let's cut the bike out. Let me just, let's get the bike cut out. Hope I don't cut the tires or the words. So I've been working on Christmas and July stuff. Like, it's different this year. It's only one administrator this year versus the two that it's been. And the administrator who's running it, she's super organized. And so yesterday it took me over an hour. Oh my gosh. The digital creators that donated kits to the participants were so generous. There are so many kits to choose from. It's really kind of cool. And some of the kits are super cute, and some of them are just ones that, I mean, I saved them all, but a couple of them, like, I would never use. Oh, I kind of like that. And then I'm thinking we can do on the road again, maybe just on the very edge, or as this kind of like, maybe we cut those words apart. Okay, let me think about this. I'll come back to this because I don't want to be fluffing about with it. Anyway, so we're not like supposed to be advertising or anything like that yet, but I don't know what it is that I want to work on this year. And so that's a little bit of a challenge for me because I was like, I thought I knew what I was going to do. I actually had bought a digital last Christmas from My Porch Prints that I really, really love. And that was what I was going to go with. But a couple of the kits that were donated are really pretty too. And I really like them. What sometimes gets me is, you know, people collage in the digitals, and then I think sometimes they get to be so busy, but you can use those pages in bits and then they're fine. They're not so busy. I don't have a laser jet printer. And so one of the things I want to do, I'm afraid that my inks are going to run, but I don't want to spend the money to send something out for print, because it's expensive to have stuff printed like that. So just kind of rambling thoughts about that. It's only May, I can't believe, but so organized. And they did it so that way everybody could kind of like decide what they wanted to do and start filming. But I'm not filming Christmas yet. I'm not doing it. Okay, so this one I think I'm going to have as the front signature because it's nice and dark and a contrast in color for the front. And then this one I think is going to go here, even though this blue is here. But I think when I put the cherish there, it's going to be okay because, I mean, the flip side of that is that the blue flower is on this side and the dark is there. So, oh, I kind of like that. But I like it because this is off this page. But it does flow. And that kind of flows. Okay, so what I'm going to do is gather some coffee dye. No, I'm not. I had a plan this morning when I was in the shower, and then I totally spaced my plan. So that's just going to go in the bin. What we're going to do is we're going to embellish these panels. And the reason we're going to embellish these panels and get that figured out is so that way I can glue these down and get rid of the paper clips because the paper clips make me crazy. I do want to do some stamping in here. I just want to have some fun with it. So, like, you know, we have luggage, we have, you know, our dates, we have, I thought there was a destination stamp on here. Yeah, destination stamp, turn them right side up. We have our numbers. So we have fun things. I mean, this is kind of like, there's no place like home, but you know, when you travel, it always feels good to come home. Like I was ready to come home this year, but that's because of everything I had going on, I'm sure. So let's do some tickets in this and let's do some travel theme. So let's say tickets and numbers. Woo! Scribble, scribble. Travel theme. Yeah, and I want to make bits and pieces too out of all the extra pages. I want to try to use them. So pockets and stuff are going to be made out of the cardstock. And I think my base pages at this point are basically going to be coffee dyed paper because of the failed die experiment. But again, it wasn't a failure. It truly was not a failure. It just wasn't the color that the box was. And I don't have it in me to stand at a table and try to dip and do all of that right now. I know you can paintbrush it on, but I'm not doing that right now. Okay, so what we're gonna do is figure out what we're going to do for an actual closure on the whole thing. And I thought I would do something on this spine as the closure, but I don't know if I'm going to do hidden spines or not for signatures. I don't think I will. I think I'll let it be seen on this, even though I do like having that clean. So all these decisions, this is the hard part about this, because I've got so much going on in my head. It's hard to like pin down one decision and say, hey, use that idea. You know what I mean? Okay, so, oh, I know what we can start with. I am going to heat emboss some pieces, I think. And that'll get me kind of in a groove here. And we'll see what colors we have. So let's look. I already said clear and uncharted mariner. Sometimes I wonder why you guys follow me or watch me, because I feel like, ooh, scorched timber also because of the key and that keyhole. I wanted to do those as well. We have this aged teal embossing powder, so that might be kind of cool on pieces. I've used that before. Here's some Seth Apter mud pie, but I want to use the scorched timber. Here's my clear. I'm running low on clear. I need to get some more. Here's the uncharted. So those are the colors I'm going to use. I'm not going, ooh, I also have these flakes that are gorgeous, and I really think maybe they will add a little bit of, that's more red, this one's more blue. Okay, so that's just thinking through the bits that I have in this tote. Oh, if you want to see what I'm digging in, I apologize. When I was starting to move in here, I put my embossing powders in this tin, well, the bigger ones, because in my little ones I have in like these lunch meat containers and upside down, so that way when I actually pull the lid off, I can see the colors better. I think that's a good way to do those. And then this one has some smaller bins in there, which is so many colors. I have so many fun colors. A friend of mine did a D-stash and sent me these, and I reach for them a lot. So I did, it's part of why I revamped them when I moving rooms. And then this is a dauber that is strictly for the embossing. And the reason that it's in here is because it's sticky. I think that maybe that's the glycerin in the Versamark ink. I'm not sure. But anyway, I just go ahead and just leave this in here. And that way I have a dauber, so if I want to ink through a stencil and emboss, I can, which is a super fun thing to do on your pages. If you haven't done that yet, I recommend it. I have another friend, she did it on some pages in a journal she made, and it was just beautiful. I really, really liked the results of that. So anyway, let me get all my stuff set up here, get a piece of paper, and then decide what we are going to emboss. So I have my stuff ready. I have my Versa marker. It has two tips on it. It has a bigger tip and it also has a smaller tip on it. I have my ink, the Versamark pad here, and I don't know, there was a video and I kept saying Versa Fine, and I'm sure you guys were probably like, are you not reading the ink pad, Jody? It says Versamark. But anyway, okay, so what I'm going to do then is just use this and start putting some stuff, some of this stuff, yep, on the flowers. And I did, where'd I do with it? I got my gold jelly roll here to kind of doodle on the flourish. So I'm going to just put this on fast forward for just one piece of this, because I think that'll kind of give you kind of the premise of it. And I'll take the sound out because the heat tool's really, really loud. If you haven't played with your embossing powders, I'll just give you a couple of tips. You want to have a piece of paper underneath because this stuff gets everywhere. Don't have a ceiling fan on, do not be by a register, don't be by an open window, and know that no matter how careful you are still going to have a mess when you're done. You want to make sure that you have good amount of, you want to make sure that it's good and inked, because what can happen is if it's not, then your embossing powders don't stick. And even sometimes, even still, it will still blow off. I'll do one little section here just to demonstrate. And hopefully this is going to do what I want it to do. I'm sure it will. I'm not worried. Have some faith, Jody. Okay, so just a little bit on that. You don't need a lot. And then what's going to happen is you get the little powdery look there. I'm going to put my lid back on because for this particular, I'm going to heat under the video, and hopefully it's not too loud. Let's not drag the iPad down. I just want to make sure that my heat tool is nice and warm, and then hopefully you'll be able to see the transition in the film. It gets very hot. So it went from like a matte powder to now it looks very plasticky. Hopefully that translated. I bet it didn't, but my fingers are crossed that it did. I can't tell because I'm watching what I'm doing. Don't touch that when it's hot. You want to give it time to cool. And the reason is because it's very hot. It becomes like plastic. You can totally burn yourself. Now, I'm not going to do a whole lot in that Uncharted Mariner because that's darker than what I had anticipated. But for a few accent pieces, I think it's going to be pretty. Then I will do the rest in clear. So I will come back when I'm finished with this piece, and then I'll show you what it looks like. But for right now, you can see it's, you know, it's paper, it's dull, and you're going to see how this is going to bring this to life. hopefully that translated. The timer on that video segment was about 16 minutes. So you can see that it's kind of time consuming, but I just love the result. I think it's so pretty. Brought that page to life, and you see the gold that's on there. And then, like, my embossing isn't perfect, so if those pits and stuff bother you, you can always go back over it with another coat. And see, if I had had a different blue, I could have done the medium blue and the light blue, but I still think it came out really nicely. Now, a couple of things to point out. I don't know if you noticed, but now I have blue in my clear. So I'm just gonna shake that really well and hope that it disperses enough. What you can do is use a different piece of paper for each color. I would actually probably encourage you to do that if you're using multiple colors, so that way you don't taint a lighter color with a darker color. I also have this here, and it's a static thingy, probably has cornstarch or baby powder in it. If you don't have one of these, you can use like an old pair of hose, a knee-high or something, or just a pair of hose, and put some baby powder in it or cornstarch, and do your paper first, and that will help with static so you don't get color where you don't want it. For example, oh, I didn't do that leaf. I'm not done. There's blue in this leaf. Hopefully I can get the light to, I don't know if that's gonna show or not. Anyway, there's blue in that leaf, and that blue is not really a place where I wanted it, but I don't care. You guys know I don't typically worry about little things like that, and since the whole thing is blue, I'm not gonna fuss about it. I might if I was trying to be more particular or more perfect with it, but I'm not trying to be perfect with it. I like the inconsistencies in it. I like the hang on, the variation in color. Come on, there we go. Sometimes I feel like it takes a while to get it to start melting. Ooh, hot. But anyway, I just think that brings that page to life. Now, I can tell you that this piece of parchment has embossing powder all over it. I can feel it. So it doesn't necessarily come off. And again, maybe if I ran the static thing over it, it would work. I'm not that worried about it. I will probably heat this when I'm done and see what little bits are left on there and see what we get as a result when we're done. So now, as far as that panel goes, that's going to go on there, and look how much more vibrant that is than when we started. So I love doing this. I think the first time I did this on cardstock for bringing an image to life, I don't recall if I did it with the fairy journal. I don't think I did, but I know I did it on the steampunk journal, that tall, skinny steampunk journal I did. The center image, I did her, and oh my gosh, because I used the Stamperia paper pad, and he embossed just spectacularly, and that's when I fell in love with doing it and using the colors of the paper to try to bring it out. And then if I didn't have the colors, go ahead and use the clear, because as you can see, it really lends itself to some beautiful colors. So I'm just going to continue and work on this and get the pieces that I want embossed. And this is going to take me quite a while. So that is what I'm going to work on with this section of this project. Because I don't even know what time it is. I'm on my phone. That's why I don't know what time it is. It is already 10 after 10. So it is 10 after 10 right now. So I should make myself a note. I want to go ahead and get the rest of these done and see how long it takes me to finish. Because obviously it took me 16, 17 minutes just to do this piece. And that's a while. That's not anything that you're like, oh, it just takes a half of a second. And it wouldn't have taken me as long if I wasn't doodling the gold in there. I kind of wish I had a finer point. This one is, does it say? This does not say what the point is on this. But It's not a fine tip gold, and I wish it was because I could get a little bit better detail, but I'm okay with this. I'm fine with it. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to do a little bit of heat embossing on this with the scorched timber, I think. Then go from there. I do want to do some stamping in this. I already said that. I made some notes, so that's repeating myself. I apologize. I got these trays for Christmas, and I like them, but they also are a little bit staticky. So for small pieces and stuff, it's fine, but I always have to wipe them out when I'm done. Or again, I'm going to get that cross-contamination of color. So anyway, I'm just going to continue, and then I'll come back when I'm finished. Ooh, I looked at the length of the video, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then I was like, oh yeah, forgot. Okay, so it's been about 40 minutes. I did just a little bit of the scorched timber around the key and then cleared inside the key. On the edge here, I did this flourish stamp I have and just used clear. And then after I did it, I was like, I don't love that, but it's okay. And I don't love it because you can't really see it. I can see it there because the light's hitting it, but whatever. Okay, and then let's see, what did I do? Let's go over here. The keyhole I did clear on the inside, and the blue flourish I did clear. And then I just outlined it with the scorched timber. And that's a little bit of a harsher color than I had really, whatever. It's just a little bit more of a harsher color than, like if I had had a softer brown, but I don't think I have a softer brown. I have this, but I didn't want it for that. But anyway, moving on. Okay, on this piece here, I love this piece. Now, if you remember, this just had a little bit of flourish here from wherever I cut it off of. So what I did was I took my stamp with my peeled paint because I knew that green was going to go really well with this. And I inked and then had my clear ready. So when I inked it, I got that powder on it while that ink was wet so that it would adhere really well. And then I embossed it, and I love it. It just adds I just think it adds a lot to the page to do that. And then on this page, I just did clear on the blue. I didn't take and I have embossing powder everywhere. I'm telling you, when you do this, regardless of like how careful you are, it still gets everywhere. I don't know if you guys watch me when I craft in the RV and I play with embossing powder. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's everywhere. But anyway, okay, so I can get rid of that note. And then, so I think I'll just go ahead and probably in this video here, I think what I'm going to start doing is working on the bits to get the panels down. Because I want to try to get kind of moving along on this. It's going to take us a while, and I want to be able to start creating the pages, but I'm not doing the pages, I think, until I get these bases down. It's kind of where I'm at right now with just trying to flow with this. But again, the paper clips get in the way. They make me nuts. So like I have this piece here. I thought we would do a little round with whatever so that the policy closure can go through here. And I don't know if I'm going to put a hole through this whole panel. And if I do that, I can just go ahead and glue those bits down so that can dry and I can put an eyelet there. So maybe I'll do that. Anyway, but I want to get this cleaned up, get the embossing powder cleaned up, and then just continue to work on this. So I guess we'll just use this as an embossing lesson if you're new. And if it's something that you've done before, maybe, you know, it's a refresher or encourages you to get your powders out to play. I love playing with mine. I don't play with them. I say I don't play with them enough, but because I have moved them, I'm telling you, it's everywhere. Because I have moved them to right here within reach, I feel like I do reach for them more, which is what we need to do with our things that we have, is put them in places, or maybe reorganize your desk, something. So if you have any tips for how to organize your desk, or what is within reach for you, please do share, because I hope that you guys read the comments that are there and that maybe over the course of time you've learned something. I do recognize I don't have a ton of comments on my channel, but I do appreciate the ones that I have, and you guys always give me good information. And so for that, I thank you, and I really appreciate the feedback. So thank you. And just thank you for choosing to spend your time with me. Okay, gonna clean this up and then I will just continue to work and see where I end up. Yeah,